Okay, hello everybody. Can you hear me? Let me switch screens. I should be live. I should be good to go, right? Right, maybe. Hello everyone. Sorry about the delay, and sorry I'm late starting. I normally start about roughly 10 minutes ago. However, I went live and I don't know what happened. Is the music a bit kaboom? That's interesting. Like it's loud? Stephen Booth says yes. Gareth is here. Okay. It's interesting because I didn't change any settings. Stephen Booth says we hear you. Okay, I've tried to turn it down a little bit. Just let me know as I'm talking if it gets better. I don't know why it's doing that. Alright, let's switch screens. Music is a bit loud. Okay, let's try going. Everything is protesting against me right now. Oh my lord. I'm so sorry. I broke everything starting my stream today. Can you see my iPad screen now? Who needs to have anything together? Come here, Noodle. No? Yeah? Come say hi to everyone. Make them feel better. Ivy would like to say hello to everybody. We're not ending. We're gonna start. There's a ferret to make your day better. She says hello, everybody. Hello. Alright. On that note, let's get down to business because today has taken entirely too long to set up, and I didn't mean for it to. My name is Sara Mapes, and I'm an illustrator and designer from Ohio, and today we're going to be working on adding these characters to this background that I've painted. I've been working on this very slowly for like the past 2 or 3 weeks, and then Jack Watson is hosting the Illustrator challenges this week, so I stopped working on it to work on the Illustrator challenges. I still have to do my yesterday Illustrator challenge, but last night I took a little break because it's been super busy. So I wanted to work on something non-Illustrator related for the weekend. Let's see. All the people I am missing in chat. Stephen Booth is here. Gareth is here. Dia is here. Hello. Rob is here. How are you guys doing today? Thanks for popping in. Annika is here. Gareth says mine broke for the first time earlier today. It was so weird. So like it started streaming and then it took me to the Behance front page and it just started playing somebody's stream. And I was like, it said I went live, but then I was obviously not live. So then I like went back to the live stream page and I had to refill out all of the information because it was like blank, but it was like retaining like that I was on Illustrator from last week. We were having a time. So that being said, we're going to be working on in Fresco today on adding these characters in color to this illustration. I have flattened the background, but I do have it retained as it's, there's a couple like small things in here. I do have a layered version retained if I need to change anything. So, catching up on the chat. Everybody's saying the ferret's cute. Yes, that's Ivy. She's adorable. She's really teeny. Annika is saying it almost seems like you dropped the ferret, but of course that didn't happen. I did not drop her. She just went that way. She went on the couch. I have like a big like cozy cove couch behind me. Bliss is saying there's a ghost in the system. I want to say there's a ghost in the shell. Truthfully today, truthfully. If anybody has any questions about the brush set that I used, it is Maddie's children's illustration brush set. I can get a link for that later. But I kind of want to get down to business right now since we've been chatting. So on that note, I have the rough versions of these characters kind of on their own layer. I have their fills and stuff kind of separated. We're gonna start with the good old Moon Puff. We're gonna start with her. And then I've given them a grumpy older sister now, so There's like a lot of texture and stuff in here, and I kind of wanted to work on like the folktale background stuff, or the folktale art. I kind of wanted to stick to that style. That seems to be like my happy style place. So on that note, let us hide the background. We're gonna hide this front area too. We'll make a new layer with let's just do like a 50% gray fill on this. Pixel is fine, and that's just so we can see like clear silhouettes of the characters and stuff. We're gonna come in here, and then I'm gonna hide these fills that I've put on them. And then for the moment, let's just hide them so we can focus on her. Make a new layer. Let's set this to multiply. And we'll pull that all the way down so it's very hard to see. Well, I shouldn't say hard to see, just so I have like a better idea of what I'm working with. We're gonna save really quick because I believe I forgot to grab, we'll go in here. This is an older version of the moon puff that I did. I need to grab the color palette for her so my colors stay consistent, and then we'll be making up a color palette for the others. Copy layer group. As we go. Coming back to the chat, Annika says, Sarah, you're doing amazing work on the challenges as well as your full-time job. Just wanted to say that. Oh, thank you, Annika. Annika, while you're here, your it's 36 days of type, right? It's so cute. Super cute. All the little penguins and stuff. I saw you started the numbers today. You're also doing really good on that. Build each other up. Thank you. Oh, Dari is here. Hello, Dari. How are you doing today? Speaking of all of this, Annika, Bliss, Odari, Gareth, and sometimes Stephen Booth are all streamers here on Behance. So if you have not been to check them out, make sure that you do. Everybody does amazing work. I'm sure I'm grabbing everybody. All of the links. All of the links. Umacorn is here. Umacorn is also another streamer here on Behance. We even give. How are you doing today, Umacorn? I gotta get all the links going. All of them. Alright. Moving on. I've been in a goofy kind of mood all week. Hey, Slayer group. Okay. Make that a little bit bigger. Done. We can... Actually, we'll leave that in here, even though we don't need it right now. It's just, block that. We can delete this other color palette. That was for the background. Okay, so we're gonna start with her skin, and I normally start with like a mid-tone. That is some crazy music. It's kind of bumping. Oh, Tari says, thanks, Sarah. You also do amazing work. Thank you, guys. Streamer support. Streamer support. Umacorn is saying, thanks, Sarah. I'm fine, but I had some trouble with Illustrator earlier. I seem to be having some issues equalizing the music with my voice, even though I haven't changed any settings. So if it's like obnoxiously loud, please let me know. And I apologize. Alright, so what I normally do to start off with these characters is I like to start with a nice clean vector brush to get like a base shape going. What kind of words are hard. What kind of trouble were you having with Illustrator, Umacorn? I had a very strange issue earlier this week where Illustrator like had a haunted file and it was at work and my friend could open the file completely fine, but if I tried to open the file, Illustrator would freak out and it would crash and then it would delete all of the graphic styles that I had in the Illustrator file. And then it would pop up with a weird window saying that it found a fix, and the fix was literally to update my graphics card. But as I'm sure you all can guess, my graphics card was completely up to date. So that happened, but like I said, my friend could like update it fine. Oh, no way, really the same? That's so weird. Bliss is fixing up some very, very late breakfast and listening. That sounds delicious. Dave is saying, seems fine to me. Ojari is saying everybody's stream broke. Yeah, I don't... Maybe Behance needs a break. Behance is tired. Umacorn is saying, the same happened to her with, a cloud document. And Umacorn, yeah, that's right, you got a new computer. My computer is also fairly new. It'll be a year old in June, I think. Either May or June, one of the two. So, I mean, I know like machines technically can age fast and everything, but to me that's still fairly new. Bliss says, I always get that fix. I'm like, stop saying the graphics card. It's geriatric. Yes. It's like, please update your graphics card, and then it gives you the option of the CC cleaner, like the Creative Cloud cleaner, not like the old CC cleaner that would like go through your files and delete stuff. I don't know if anyone had that. I used to back in the day. It like gives you the option to download that, but it's like, oh, you may lose some files, so be careful. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm just trying to work today. Just trying to get through my work day. Okay, we're gonna put this front hand on a separate layer. So we're gonna kind of end her arm like this. My hand is shaking really bad for some strange reason. I ate today. I slept good, but my hand is like actually like blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we're gonna put that hand on a separate layer, and then the ferrets is going crazy. We'll keep the rest of like the skin section on its own layer. That seems super orange next to the gray. It's kind of funny. Rob is saying, oh, Umacorn is saying, I lost 2 graphics styles I noticed after the stream. That's super weird. I wonder if there was like some kind of error with like specifically graphic styles that was like causing the document to crash. I do like a lot of art that requires like gradients to all follow like the upper left. I do a lot of molecular art. I've explained that before in streams. So I have to make a lot of gradients that have to be applied the same way. the same color, the same shading always has to be on the bottom right. The light source has to be on the top left. So like, the graphic styles are super important for me to like utilize. So it was like super frustrating. I eventually gave up and I gave Marissa, she's been around on Behance before. She also streams on occasion, but she hasn't in a while. I ended up like halfway through the day, I was like, please take this document. I don't want it. I can't, like, I can't anymore. And she ended up finishing it for me. And I'm like, did it give you any problems? And she's like, no. And I'm like, well, I'm cursed. It's fine. Okay, skin is done. Rob is saying, I think Creative Cloud must have had some issues. It logged me out of every device I have this morning. Ooh, that's interesting. I haven't had that happen in a while. A few months. I think the last time that happened might have been like September of last year. And then Creative Cloud was down for like a few days. Not a few days, a few hours. Sorry. A few days would be, whew, I don't want to think about it. Umacorn is saying, and the same thing occurred when I tried to recreate the pattern. Yes, the same thing happened to me. Every time I tried to like drag the graphic styles into the document and like redo them, it would crash and like I'd have to redo them every single time. And Umacorn is saying, there's no way I'm using that cleanup program. I have to reinstall everything again. Yes. Definitely yes. Okay, so we're gonna give her, I think, a purple t-shirt. Actually, do we want to do blue overalls or purple overalls? You know what? Let's do purple overalls and we'll give her a blue t-shirt. Oh. Sometimes. I don't know what I'm doing. I try to keep her color scheme overall, the same. Let's do this way because I always have issues. Cleaning up my sides when I do like a t-shirt design like this. Around the neck, and I'd rather just do it underneath the skin and clean up the skin edges, if that makes sense, which is kind of the opposite of how I would do it in Illustrator. Blissa saying it's been a weird tech week for me though. This morning my mouse cursor was acting really wonky, and then I think it's because I had my phone sitting on top of the XP pen tablet. I've done that before. With my Wacom. I've like not thought about it, and I've put the mouse on top of the Wacom, and then my mouse won't act right, and I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. Sarah, what do you mean you don't understand what's happening? Your mouse is literally not where it's supposed to be. This is really, I think, the most relaxing part of the illustration is just making all these like nice smooth lines like this. Stephen Booth is saying, rule of thumb, replace / update a laptop every 3 years, a desktop every 4. That's for the general office though. So fun fact, when I first started streaming, I was working off a laptop. It was just an Asus, and that thing was pushing 7 years old, and I'm still unsure as to how it actually operated properly. Like the keyboard would stop working. I don't know if anybody remembers the saga of all of my sound issues that I would have. But that's why. I was really old. I refuse to give it up. And then it pretty much was just like shutting itself off, and the keyboard wasn't working, the sound wasn't working. Eventually, I gave up. I didn't want to, but I did. Just need a little trim over here. It's probably fine for right now. Bliss is saying it's working fine now. I'm overdue for a replacement, and this laptop is from 2017. I think mine was older than that, Bliss. I think mine was honestly from like 2016, 2015, somewhere-ish in there. So I feel your pain. And you're like, I really don't want to like, I don't want to have to replace this. I don't want to. I don't know if this purple is gonna be, it's like a super bright purple. I don't know if that's gonna be too bright. So the good news is we can always change the color later. Ooh. Move this above the skin. Very shakily even that out there. Like I said, my hand is pretty shaky today, which is super weird. Oh, Daria is saying it was my first time traditional drawing on Behance today, and I lost the stream at the beginning. No! How did that go with the traditional drawing? I'll have to go watch the replay. I was not of this world yet when you started streaming. I'm really bad at mornings. Like, terrible at mornings. I was sitting on the couch with my coffee reading a book, and I was like, I can't socialize yet. I can't do it. Okay, so underneath the skin, I also need to put, let's make this like a little bit darker for right now. I need to put the bottom of these like pants. I need to clean up in there. Oop, that didn't work because I can't see what I'm doing. So like the inside cuff area of these pants is what I was trying to say. And then we'll kind of clean up in here. I might do this with the selection tool. Actually, I wonder if we just take this whole back leg. Close lasso. I'm gonna cut that. There we go. I'll put that on that layer. Let's separate that a little bit. Oh, Daria's devices are just over a year old. That's good. That's very good. I use my Asus laptop as a paperweight. That's what mine is, pretty much. I don't even know where mine is. I think it's in a closet. It probably won't even start now because it's so old. Gareth is saying, mine was also weird. Everyone could see the stream, but no sound. Meanwhile, on my end, the stream didn't even show up, but I could hear the music in my headphones. That is super weird. Not Adobe, Behance just needs a break. Be gentle to Behance. It does a lot for us. An actual nap. Okay, so let's... Oh, we're still in the lasso tool. Let's try to do... I kind of want to do these socks in like a neutral color. Like I don't want them to be the blue or the pink or like the purpley color. So let's try this yellow that we have, which I normally use to like make like the moon and stuff. It's part of her general color palette. Clean up that edge there. I like to have nice smooth edges for like all of my base color and fills and stuff, and then I like to go like over this in clipping masks with pixel brushes in Fresco, and I like to roughen everything up. I feel like when I started streaming, I didn't really develop a style, or I didn't really have a style developed, and I think this is it. This is my style, if that makes sense. Is that like a weird thing? A style and a workflow, I should really say. So there's that one. Okay, so that's super cute. And then we'll do the boots blue because I always do. Whatever shoes they're wearing always stay, like they match like this choker that she's wearing. The shoes and the choker always match. Just a weird... Ooh. Before we do that, actually. Let's come over here and we have... Sorry. We have like this overall strap that also needs to go behind. If I could be on the proper tool, that would really help my cause. Very much. Anyhow, we have this overall strap that kind of like... is coming from behind the shirt. Let's fill that in. Oh, Dari's answering my question. I'm sorry. I'm lagging today. My brain is lagging about how the traditional art stream went. Dari says it was cool. I need to invest in some more light. Same. That's how I feel for my paper crafts. I don't think they're bad, but I would like to have a better quality camera for them, which I think I kind of worked out in the last bit with the Heidelin papercraft. And I need better lighting, like a whiter, floodlight almost, except I don't want to say flood because I don't want it to be in your face bright, but just something better than what I have, which is really just a ring light, and that's pretty much it. Okay, make another new layer to go through and name these layers too, but I'm not going to right now because I am lazy. Bliss says I have a Toshiba from 2005 or so. I still have it. Is it like a Toshiba laptop? That's got to be ancient. A brick. It's probably a brick. Wrong color. Cut that line a little short. There we go. Oh, Darius saying, oh my god, Sarah, lol, I can see the 2-inch dust at a distance on my Asus from where I'm sitting. I feel the urge to go check on my laptop in the closet and just be like, hey, are you okay in there? I know you're probably not gonna turn on, and I've moved on to bigger and better things, but I just wanted to say thank you for getting me through 7 years of work before dying. Sorry, I was really mean to you. I was very mean to my laptop as it was done. I would get very frustrated with it. Okay, so some of this needs to be kind of trimmed off a little bit. I went a little too big with it, like right around there. I think. There we go. A brick that I could put cool stickers on it. I keep it because I put cool stickers on it, Odari said. Yes. Bliss says I could take the hard drive out and recycle the laptop. I should do that. I don't know why I keep it. It's same. It's just sentimental value. I don't know. Okay, so here is the good old Moon Puff's hair, which we're gonna have to do in 2 separate layers. So that was a hiccup. I'm so sorry. Do we actually have here? Is this just an empty layer? Yes, this is an empty layer for no reason, on accident. So let's just delete that. kind of organize some of this into groups. That's probably good. And then we'll put it all into one group. Just name this whole layer group Moonpuff. Thank you, Bliss, for teaching me how to name layers in Fresco. I can't believe I didn't know how to do that. Okay, so that's a little bit cleaner. So we need to do a layer behind everything. That's gonna be the back of her hair. I don't really care how that lines up in the back there, it's fine. It's actually, let's do this a little bit different. Close lasso, let's erase that. Okay, we'll fill that in. And then let's hide that layer for a moment, just because... Ooh, I need to see these bangs. So, her bangs are circles, so we can use the handy dandy little circle tool here to help me fill in parts. Coming back to chat, I'm sorry everyone. KRSNL Media Design is in the chat and says, hi everyone, good work Sarah. Hey, thank you so much. Welcome to the stream. Annika is asking Bliss if the laptop brings her joy though. That's a good point. Does the laptop bring you joy? I love her, like, her poofy bangs. That's probably my favorite part of her character. Which also, I didn't know that I had a tendency to make hair like this. I was looking over some of my older college projects, and for my, like, senior thesis, I drew a character with bright orange hair that, like, basically had a similar design, with, like, the curly, poofy hair, and also had to do with the moon. So, I guess this is just a reoccurring theme to me without realizing it. To hide that. Okay, so on the back of the hair here, we can do this little space bun that we have. There, and then I think we can add... I don't know if I want to add this to the back. No, I think we'll put it on its own layer, the second little space bun. Okay. Bliss is saying, then I have an HP gaming laptop that I'm holding on to. I think I could just reinstall Windows or something on it. I don't know. I think that one has the potential to still be used after the crash. Did it like blue screen, or did it just have a crash one day and then you were like, this is not worth my time? Because I may be guilty of doing that. Let's see, Lisando is here. They're giving the little star eye emoji. Hello, welcome to my stream. Since we're about halfway through, let me unhide some stuff so you guys can kind of see, anyone joining can kind of see what we're working with adding these characters to the background. I apologize, I'm not a super fast worker, but oops. Alright, so there is the background that we have been working on. I put the gray layer over it to draw on top of, so I have an easier time with like cleaning up the fills and stuff for this character. So it's been a lot of fun so far. You can see like there's 2 more characters. There's her face. It's very hard to see back there. That we'll be adding to this, into the environment. I'm hoping we can just work on this today and tomorrow, and then next weekend I might go back to my mock branding project. We'll see. I like to jump around with what I work on. Lisandro is saying fantastico. Thank you so much. Dave says I'm the guy who fixed her laptop so she could stream. That is true, and you are greatly appreciated, sir. So much. Is it Ravenna? Is that how you pronounce that? We have a Ravenna here in Ohio. Says this character is so adorable. Thank you so much. I love her. She has 2 sisters that are, they're very, well, one's very grumpy. But yeah, she is like my little baby, so we're gonna have a lot of fun trying to draw them into an actual environment for once in life and not use the fill tool to fill over everything. Okay. This one, we will do one more touch up on this front hair layer here. And that is to add like this little wispy, which I will define a little bit more with some solid fill colors. I did that very incorrectly. Hold on one second. There we go. If my hand could relax today, that would be great. Okay, so she has like these 2 little wispies. This one is kind of drawn into the hair over here. I know it's like blurry. We'll worry about adding that detail when I start like shading her and everything, so. Okay, so let's add our little pink cheeks. Let's unhide lighter color palette. Ravina. Okay, I gotcha. Sorry, I'm coming back to the chat. I apologize. I pronounced it wrong, and thank you for letting me know. Dave says, though, I could be very well be the one who broke her laptop in the end. I don't think so. That boy was old. It wasn't a Dell. Dave says there's only so much you can do to beef up a Dell laptop from 2016. It was an Asus. Okay, so I always give them these little pink cheeks. It's just become part of their design. She kind of looks like she's got like really bad clown blush makeup on right now, but I promise it works out in the end most of the time. Okay, so we're gonna group in here because I normally put all of like the facial features and stuff on their own layer. So that's gonna be like the eyes, the pupils, the eyelashes, that kind of stuff. Actually, this needs to go, we'll keep it above the bangs for right now so I can draw a little cleaner. Instead of using pure white for the eyes, we're gonna do a very, essentially a very pale purple. Ravina is saying it's okay, no worries, excellent, excellent, and is asking what device do you draw with? I am currently drawing on the iPad Air, the newest one that came out, unless there's a new version since last year. I'm drawing on the iPad Air. It's about a year old, and I'm using Adobe Fresco to draw. I also have Intuos Wacom, so if I'm in Illustrator or if I'm in Photoshop, I'll draw on the Intuos. Wrong tool. Let's chop this a little bit, like right there. Does look kind of freaky like that. That's okay though. Okay. Up here to the super dark purple because we don't do her eyelashes pure black most of the time. I try to do them purple. Make a new layer. Stephen Booth is saying I have a Dell laptop from about then. It ran slow when I first got it. I flattened it and installed Linux instead of Windows 10, and now it flies. That's interesting. Just need Adobe to release CC for Linux. Interesting. Ravina is saying, "Oh, cool! I've been looking into getting either an iPad Pro or an iPad Air, but I'm not so certain on the better of the two of them at the moment." So, a lot of people have that that decision to make. I was one of those people. I know a lot of people work off of the iPad Pro. I've had my iPad Air for, like I said, about a year now, and I have not had a single issue working on it, basically. So if that is any help to your decision, like a cost-efficient decision, I have not had an issue where like it slows down or anything like that, or like it doesn't save space, or it doesn't have space to save, I should say. Sometimes I get a little tongue-tied when I'm working. And the reason that I chose this one is because it was a bit more cost efficient than the Pro. Gareth is saying, I would go for the new iPad Air as it has the M1 chip and it now costs less than the Pro. Yes. Out of curiosity, just because I genuinely don't know the answer, I got my iPad in May of last year. No, maybe before then. Maybe like... It might have been around now, to be honest. I just know that like when Adobe Max happened, I lost my mind and I saved my money for like 4 months to buy an iPad. So... I don't know if it... My point is I don't know if a new iPad has come out since then. I genuinely have not paid attention. A new iPad Air, I should say. I don't think I like that little guy that I just added. I thought it would look cute and I don't like it, so we'll get rid of it. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Ravina is saying thank you to Gareth, and that was a good point. I agree. I didn't think of that. I very much agree. Okay, let's visit our little vector brush shop in here. I know it's not really a shop, but I'm strange. And let's see if I can get this to do what I want it to do, which is basically that. Close. Have moved a little too far off path of that eye. Okay, there we go. And then we can just erase in there a bit. right. Nope. Also, I apologize that I'm rotating the screen so much. I know that bugs some people. But it really helps me draw these curves a bit easier, so. Oh, thank you so much, Ravina. Ravina says that was a thank you to you also. I love your art and your style so much, by the way. Thank you. I was actually just mentioning earlier on stream, when I first started streaming, I feel like I really didn't have a style. And I would kind of just draw whatever. Like, everything always had, like I don't know, like a not set style. And sometimes I do still, like, draw like that. But I think I finally, like, eased in at the ripe age of 30 to whatever my style is, which is this. So, oops. Finally, like, comfortable and happy with what I want to do, so, or how I want to draw. Wonder if we should do, like, a little. Just want to see how that looks before I commit to it. No, I liked it better the other way. We'll keep her eyes open like that for right now. Actually, I think I'm always so picky about eyes. I think what I ended up doing for them the last time when I was doing, like, their character turnarounds is I added something like that. Yeah. Let's stick with that. That seems correct to me. Oh, we're on the wrong layer. Okay. Didn't even realize I was doing this. So let's undo that. We can fix this. If you don't draw on the wrong layer at least once per project, you're a robot. I'm normally pretty good about not doing that, but apparently today was not the day. Okay. So now we have to fix that. Oh, that is completely fair. Ravina is saying, yeah, I believe it does take a while to find your style and what your thing is. I'm a photography student, and sometimes not knowing what my thing is stresses me out, but I realized I'll get there eventually. I'm living proof 30, and here I am. So, but don't stress about it. You'll figure it out eventually. It's always a lot of fun to try and like experiment with different things too, to figure out like what you'd like and what you don't like. When I was younger, I think I just assumed that I wanted to be like this great digital painter and I wanted to do like all this hyper realistic like painting and stuff. And to be completely honest, I find doing this kind of stuff, like the stylized stuff, way more enjoyable than like trying to accomplish anything hyper realistic. So paste selection. Okay, so I've just duplicated the eye. Done. Delete. And what we're going to do is we're gonna delete. There we go. We're gonna delete that. We can unhide this. And then we can get rid of that's not what I meant to do. I did that so backwards. I'm so sorry. We're gonna get rid of this excess stuff. Close lasso, erase, deselect. And then we're gonna get rid of the purple in here just because I don't want that to like overlap in any way if it ends up overlapping, like where you can see like the purple from the mistake eyeball underneath the actual eyelashes that I'll have to go back and fix later. So now we have the eye whites and that on their own separate layers over here. That's not what I meant. There we go. Okay, so let's merge that down. So now if you see the eyelashes are on their own layer except for this little spot because I missed deleting them. And the whites are on their own layer. And that'll allow me to lock onto those different layers and shade in there a little bit. So, and see, Rob was saying I had an illustration professor tell me not to worry about style and that will come. I'm still waiting 30 years later. I've been out of school for like, graduated in 2014, so almost 10 years. And here we are. No. Yes? Is that really 10 years? I have to think about this now. 14 to 15, 15 to 16, 16 to 17, 17 to 18, 18 to 19. Yeah. Ooh, I'm old. Yes, Bliss is like 24 will be 10 years. I like knew it was right, and then I thought about it, and I was like, no, wait. That can't be right. That's right. Okay, so let's... I don't mind if that doesn't exactly match up. That also doesn't look like the same color, weirdly enough. It is. Oh my gosh, I did it again. I'm on the wrong layer. I'm cursed. Okay. Sorry, everybody. sometimes you just have to be cursed with technology and with drawing on the correct layer. Okay, there we go. 30 years later, I feel like her eyes are finally in a good spot. Okay, so let's get some pupils going. Oh, everybody's laughing at me now. Rob says, LOL, Sarah old. It's weird to think about. Stephen Booth says, I graduated university from 1993. I was born in 91. Bliss is saying, what will Sarah say when it's been 30 years since she graduated? I hope by that point in life, I am a really good illustrator slash designer. I hope. Dave says back in my day, and Bliss says, I remember when there was no CC. You kids are spoiled. I actually sometimes will bring that up at work. I will laugh. Like, when I first started at my full-time job, we were still on CS6 because CC was like still kind of new, and it was like the big bad scary thing, like, oh, what if there are bugs? You know, stuff like that. So we were on CS6, and like the year we transitioned to CC, I was like, thank God, live corners, everybody. Live corners in Illustrator was like my only wish in life in like 2016. Oh, Daria says, I'm forever young. I still watch cartoons and have more toys than my grandkids. I will also be that way. I have a collection of anime, video game things, toys, books, games, collectible stuff in that corner, which is why I'm pointing over there. So I feel that. Okay, so let's get the mouth going now. We're gonna use the slight pink for the mouth. And Isoon is here. Hello, Isoon. How are you doing? Isoon, right? How are you doing today? Thanks for popping in. I'm glad you could make it. Straighten out the shape a little bit. Alright, and then we're gonna put some teeth on there, and we're gonna do the teeth the same like off-white color as the eyes. Let's clip that. Then we will come up here and we will just straighten that out a bit so she doesn't have a wiggly upper lip. And then we'll do one more layer also clipped to that underneath for the tongue. You know, we can actually probably... I just grabbed like the little circle dot tool for like, call it the circle shift. So it's essentially shift. I just grabbed that for no reason, thinking it was going to magically make the circle shape for me. Bliss says you're starting early, Sarah. Yes. Dave is saying poses. She also has poses. Action poses. Odaria says sweet, and Dave is saying almost perfectly. Dave says don't say in the name of the moon. I will punish you. Going Sailor Moon out here. Okay, so she is filled in for the most part. I feel like that took way longer than I wanted it to take because I'm having a lot of fun with the chat today, so I apologize. You guys are great. We're gonna pop her up there. So the challenge between these three characters is we have this very basically 3-4 color pastel background, and the main colors are mostly purple, that blue that you see, a little bit of yellow, and like some peachy pink color in there. So our challenge with getting these other characters on here is, if I pop out of this illustration really quick, let's go to some of my files. We'll scroll down for a minute until I find it. So this is the Sun Puff, which is that middle character that's in there. And she is very vivid orange. So I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to kind of tone down some of those colors to make her fit into the background more without being like a standout character, if that makes sense. Just something to think about. So I still want to keep like this very vivid purple color hair, and I still want to keep like the orange and like this like gray blue color and the yellow. But I think I'm gonna have a rough time trying to make that fit in the background. What is this layer? I don't even know. Okay, on that note, we're gonna make a new layer while we're in this document, because my point for coming in here is I want to be able to grab some of these colors. We're gonna grab, do we have a nice dark color of the skin tone? We do. We're gonna have to play with some contrast on this a little bit to that stand out. We can do her cheeks the same color as the moon puffs. I'm not too worried about that. Take this orange. You can kind of grab 3 different colors from here. It's really light yellow. Ooh, that needs to get bumped up quite a bit. Actually, I think we need to push that more into, not quite that much. Sorry, my hand keeps double tapping this on accident. I know that's really hard to see against the sun, but Isoon says, I love the background. Was it the background on this one or on like the one that we're currently working on that I just switched from? Either way, thank you. And Rob is saying very cute characters. Thank you guys so much. Isoon is saying both, and I I love the textures on the dress. Yeah, that was super fun. Those are all default brushes in Fresco here, I think. It might have been some of the Jing sketch brushes too that I have. Either way, thank you very much. Trying to look for a good spot to grab this blue from. We might need to play with that a little bit too. I think, yeah, these three blues might be a little too close to each other. Later. Push that to be a bit more saturated, but let's go darker. That's a little bit better. We can just push this to be a smidge more saturated in the middle here. Just so those colors really like stand out from one another. We have this yellow for the sun, which I'll kind of stick here. And then let's just grab some of the hair shadow colors. That definitely needs a contrast bump. I could really kick myself for not retaining this color palette in this, which is why I haven't colored her, so we're addressing that. Like, I haven't colored her again, I should say. Okay, I think that's probably fine. Let's copy that layer. We'll come back out of here. Pop back in our drawing. So she still looks pretty tan to me, and her, the moon puff here, her skin tone is really not that tan. That looks a little bit better. She's pretty pale is how I've like drawn her before. So there's nothing wrong with tan. I just want to stay, there we go. I want to stay on model with like how I've approached her color palette in the past, if that makes sense. Time is it? 3:30 already. Okay, cool. All right, so let's come out of here. We're gonna lock her layer for right now, and we'll unhide our gray. I need to paste my layer before I forget. Just gonna move that up there. Okay, new layer, and we're gonna start the same way here, where we start off with I don't feel like this is a good contrast. I'm gonna adjust this color really quick. We're gonna start out with the skin is basically what I was trying to say. It's a bit better. Okay. Jack is here! Hello, Jack! Jack says, oh my god, why didn't I get notified you were live? Because I broke my stream? I don't know. I broke my stream before we started, so that happened. Jack is another streamer here on Behance and has been hosting the Adobe Illustrator Daily Creative Challenges, and it has been a great time. Even though I'm behind on yesterday's, I need to do that today. So be sure to go check out Jack Watson, who is also streaming today, but not tomorrow, I believe. Retelling of how I broke my stream. So I started streaming and I hit the start button and everything froze. And then like the page refreshed itself. Like I didn't touch anything. I was just sitting here. It refreshed itself, took me to the front page of like the live streams on Adobe or like on Behance, and then just started like auto playing somebody's stream like on the little carousel thing, which is normal. And I was like, okay. And then OBS, I like stopped OBS, so like that wasn't somehow magically streaming through OBS. And when I went back to like the live stream page, it had like refreshed itself and cleared all of my information. So that happened. So then I was 10 minutes late starting to stream because I had to refill out all of the information because it was like stuck on like the title was blank and there was like some stuff stuck from like the mock branding project I was working on. So that happened. Just beware. Yoosune says technology is a wonder. It sure is. Okay, but redo that. Thank you. My hand is so shaky. It's probably from too much caffeine and a lack of water, to be honest. Who needs water when you can live on coffee? I'm just kidding. Please drink water. It's important. I have a cup next to me. Okay, we're gonna do her neck on its own layer because I really hate trying to separate the chin from like the neck area, if that makes sense. Oh, hey, Andre, how are you doing today? Andre says, hey, all, just dropping in for a short, long time since the last stream. Yeah, it's good to see you. How you been? I saw, the lemons you posted earlier in the Illustrator chat, I think. Those look great. I didn't get to comment on them because I saw them, like, literally right before I started streaming. Dave says, what's water? Odaria says, drink water. And Bliss says, yes, that makes sense, and same. Okay, so staying on this layer, we are not gonna fill it, as I just tried to. We're gonna keep her hands on, her like arms and hands on this layer until I decide otherwise that I need to separate them. Gonna need to work on this hand a little bit when I actually get to rendering it so it doesn't look so like kitten pawed or like, you don't want it to be like a paw. I want there to be some like variation in the fingers. I know they're like kind of curled like at her side, but we'll work that out. Oh, she also needs to be behind the moon puff, speaking of which. Because of how they're overlapped in the scene. Okay. Andre says, thanks, Sarah. Yes, I was quite happy with them as well. You should be there. Super cute. They look good. All right. So we're gonna put tights on her. What time is it? 3:37. Okay. We can keep her leg shape as one layer like that for right now, and then close the lasso. We can duplicate that section of the legs. Duplicate selection on its own layer. And then we can come down here and let's fill her tights with maybe... Right now, let's do this really bright purple color. And then we can set them to multiply and kind of bring down the opacity a little bit. To make it kind of look like she's wearing like some sheer colored like black tights or like purple tights or something. See, Andre says, going for a concert in a small concert hall tonight. First one since COVID started. Is that Reggie? It's Reggie? Not sure what that means. But that sounds super fun. I'm very happy you get to go out and enjoy music. My friend and I went to a concert a little while ago for the first time also since COVID happened, and it was a lot of fun. Okay, so we're gonna hide our gray for a moment. And the issue that I'm having now is I don't know if I want to do her dress in like this blue-gray color that we have, because I'm afraid that it's going to blend into this blue tree that's behind her too much. But I'm also afraid of doing like this very bright orange color. So I guess we'll start in the bright orange and we'll kind of figure it out, I guess. Maybe. Oh, cancel. So like I said, I don't want her to be like so bright that she stands out from the rest of them, which is hard when her color palette for her character design is orange. I'm gonna have to cut this arm out on its own layer, I think. That does sound fun, Andre. Welcome back, Usoon. Usoon is asking Andre if Andre plays an instrument, and Andre says a little guitar. I always wanted to play guitar, but I never did. But that's awesome. Do you, are you gonna wear a mask when you go? Just out of curiosity. It doesn't matter to me one way or another if you do. For the concert that we went to, I ended up making masks with the cricket for me and my friend to wear that had like the band's name on them and like their little like logos thing, so we could wear them and just have them just in case. Okay, we're gonna take this arm out of this layer, so let's cut it. Let's paste it. Done. We can reorder that above the dress. And we can kind of chop that off. Oh. Isuna saying, nice, I like their poses. Thank you, I do too. They were a lot of fun to draw. Different personalities and stuff. And Andre is answering my question and saying, no, all restrictions have been lifted about a month ago since that happened. Very nice, very nice. I'm glad. They were lifted when we went too, but we brought them just in case because we didn't know how like the venue, like we didn't know what their rules were gonna be. And then Jack is saying, I did buy the heat press for the cricket. We were talking about that earlier. I'm super jealous. I want the bigger one. I went and told Dave it was on sale, and now we might have to go to Joann's later and either buy the mug press or the heat press. I'm not really sure, so I can play and add more stuff to my Etsy. Did you buy the bundled one that was on there that came with like the infusible ink, or did you just buy like the medium-sized guy? The bundle was like the, like, I feel like he was like the big one. It's not quite that big, but it was like the big guy. Jack says I did. Jealous. Very jealous. Okay, so going back to the boots. Her boots also need to be not the lasso, but the orange color. Her choker and the boots. We're gonna do them this really dark orange color, and we're gonna have to adjust our color palette. I feel like, I don't know, let's try the dress in this blue really quick. Well, first of all, let's see what it looks like in the so yeah, that stands out. It's not terrible to be honest, but it does stand out quite a lot. Her overalls are a little hot on the color side. I might tone those down a little bit. Let's see what it looks like in the blue against the background. So that seems to blend a little bit better. I don't think it'll get lost in this tree because there's, like, I think there's enough color difference there. Could always put, could I sap the saturation out of it? On an adjustment layer just to see. too. Let's come back to our orange here. I just want to see what that dress color will look like. Oops. They're about the same. Okay, let's keep the blue for right now. Just for right now. And we'll accent her clothes with this orange color. Isuna's saying I have to go. I might not be able to come tomorrow, but I'll try next week. Keep up the good work. Thanks for joining us, Isun. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week if you're able to. Jack says the bundle was a good deal. I'll let you know how it goes if you order it online. Let me know there's a coupon code and you can get free shipping. Ooh, didn't know that. All right. Gonna have to see about that. Let's go down to her boots here. Oh, once again, on the wrong tool. It's the theme of today. Work with the wrong tool. Fill your whole painting, or illustration I should say, in one color, repeatedly. For funsies. My hand has finally stopped shaking. Naturally at the end of my stream. Okay, and I think we'll do like these little leg warmer thingies that I have in her boots. We'll do them this purple color. Once again, I have filled in the wrong color. Or I have used the wrong tool, I should say, and filled in all of the color. Alright, let's give that a good save. Boschment is in the chat and is asking what we're doing. We are working on adding colors or characters to this background that I painted. That is what we are up to. Alright, so with our last 10 minutes here, let's try to get this hair filled in. And again, we'll need 2 different layers, so let's go ahead and start grouping some stuff. Miguel is here. Miguel says hello from Chile. Hello, how are you today? Thanks for popping into my stream. add another. Maybe not. We will just extend. There. That looks pretty good. Let's see. Zane is here. They say, hey, hello, how are you doing today? Rob says, gotta go and get some chores done. This is really cool. This is really looking cool, Sarah. Thanks for letting me tag along. Thank you for joining so much. Thank you. Good luck on your chores. I know that's always no fun, but they gotta be done. Oh, once again. I think we're gonna change the shape of this to be square too, since her entire hair is basically a square shape. Oh, I just realized I didn't put eyebrows on the moon puff, and I need to put eyebrows on both of them. Whoops. That's okay. Alright, so we got the base of her hair done. Alright. Bliss says eyebrows are overrated, lol. Who needs eyebrows? Not me. I think I'll add, so my goal for these is not really to use too much line in them and to only use a little bit of a textured line where like parts that don't have a very high contrast like will meet. So for example, like a chin line, like basically like here. I'm on the wrong layer. Just add a line. So like I'll add like a textured line like here and probably like around the shirt, and then of course I'll delete this, and like textured lines that come through here in the fingers. Little guy there. It's pretty put together. I might add one like between like there and the socks, since it's not like a very high contrast area. And then like parts of the hair, so like there will be like a textured line here in the hair and here, and I'll probably draw one to like separate that part and like to separate out this part. Just stuff like that. Same thing on like the sun puff, just in these general areas. So good right now. I have the smoothing up too high. Anyhow, so I will probably do that to like kind of up the contrast a little bit for those areas. And my point being, I lost my train of thought there for a moment, is that that is probably also how I will apply the eyebrows, is through like a textured line over everything else. So it'll be like over the hair and everything, because really their eyebrows, like her eyebrows especially, go up into the hair, as do hers. They're like here and here, not that you can see that. So I want them to at least be visible over the rest of the art. Same thing with hers, like hers kind of, they come down here, she's angry. I still want them to be visible, so that's probably how I'll end up adding the eyebrows. I won't worry too much about them for right now. She has a very fall-ish palette compared to her, and like I said, I think I'm gonna tone these overalls down a little bit to be less in your face of a color. And to not, like, it's really like the same purple that's kind of in the background in different places, just a little bit brighter. On that note, I think this is as far as we're going to make it today for this. So I will be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to continue working on this. Take a nice break from vector work since I'm going to be working on Jack's Illustrator challenges next week too. Be sure to go watch Jack Watson, who is streaming after me, and if you're interested in the Illustrator challenges, you should definitely check those out as well, because they're super fun. On that note, I will see everybody tomorrow, and I just wanted to say thank you for streaming. Or thank you for joining me while I was streaming, not thank you for streaming. You guys aren't streaming, even though you do stream on your own. I'm a goof. Thank you, Andre, Annika, Bliss, Dave, thanks for modding from the other room. Dia, Gareth, Jack is soon, Odari, Ravina, Rob, Stephen Booth, Uma Korn, and everyone else who joined today. Thank you guys very much. Bye!